everybody, welcome and happy Halloween. I thought that I would just surprise all of you guys with a quick video on how to make this silver concho bracelet. And it's a fairly simple process. There's a couple tricks that you'll learn. And I'm using these long strands of the Indonesian beads that are on my website. They're $6 a strand retail, and then there's quantity prices. But I did break them down into a kit form for you, so you don't have to buy the full strand, but I just like the big long look. And so let's go ahead and get started. So in the kit, what you'll receive is you'll get 25 of the little off-white pieces. You'll get 9 of the colored pieces, yellow, turquoise, red, and orange. You'll get a concho button. You'll get 6 of the small silver spacers, and then you'll get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 of the large spacers. Now this project is going to, it'll be a little different for everybody because everybody has different size wrists. So for somebody that has a smaller wrist, you're going to use less beads. So this is where you are going to have to customize it a bit to yourself. But what I'm going to do is teach you how to build the cage. And the cage is the part that comes with the silver concho and the braided linen. And then depending on your size, you're going to fit that to your wrist, and then we'll add the beads. So let's come on in and look over my shoulder and we will get started. So in your kit, you're going to get 2 feet of this waxed linen cord, the off-white. And where I start is I'll take this and I'll take the 3 strands together, and it doesn't have to be totally perfect, but you want to get them close. And you line up these, and then you're going to go through the button end, and you're going to just get those all through there. And you can cut and trim when you're done, so you don't have to be perfect right now. And all I do is pull this over, so you see it goes through and it comes down. And that's going to be the button side of it. And then you're going to take some of your wax linen cord that you get in the kit, the brown, and you're just going to cut. And again, the nice thing is we do all the trimming at the end, so it doesn't have to be exact. And as a rule of thumb, I lay the concho on its side like so, and then I'll take this here, and you're going to tie a double knot, as tight as you can. And again, we're placing so that it hits right. Can you see? I guess I should put it up here so it's a little easier to see on this. You're going to get it right, scooted up to where the concho almost starts. And that'll just be kind of a visual line. So we're going to tie a double knot there. And again, this is wax linen cord, so it's so easy and forgiving to work with. I just love this. Gotta get my glasses, so no looking at me with my glasses on. And we're gonna just take a dot, and I told you this with that other project that we did, the braided leather. I really prefer crazy glue or that super new glue. And we're just gonna stick a dot to make sure that our knot doesn't lift up. We're just gonna do a dot of crazy glue. Oh boy, a big dot. Well, you don't want that. So we're gonna take some of that off, but you saw basically what I was getting at. And let me clean this up a little bit because we need this for our project. Okay, so we're good there. Alrighty, and then I'm gonna turn this around just so I feel like this is easier to see on this brown paper bag. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start our braid, and the secret to, I'm gonna move this out of the way. The secret to a really good braid is having it be tight. So what I do is I'll take just some tape, and I tape my work just down to a counter. And that way when we pull, it's gonna just stay put. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna separate your 3 strands to where they lay sort of flat, and we're just gonna start a traditional braid, just an over braid like you were braiding hair. And with this wax cord, it's so forgiving and easy to work with that you can pull it tight and it just stays where it needs to be. So what we're gonna do right here, do you see me, is I'm braiding this whole triple strands. And it's gonna take a while. So there's that. The braiding started. Fast forward, I have one where I've braided all the way to the end to where I need. And so it's the same thing, all it is an over braid, and you're gonna come down to just where you think about that you're gonna need. And again, we're gonna trim it up so it doesn't have to be perfect. And then what you're gonna wanna do, we're gonna now make this loop end of the bracelet. I'll undo this so you guys can see better. So this is the cage that we just did here, this part. And we're gonna now make the loop. So what I like to do, and if you wanna come on in, I like to gauge it towards my wrist size. And so I'll kind of put it on my wrist. And again, this wax linen cord is just so awesome to work with because it kind of remembers. I feel like it has memory. So it holds your place. So I'm gonna say that about like right there, I don't like stuff super tight. I feel like that's gonna be a good spot for me. So you're just gonna kind of wanna pull it a little bit and slip this out, and it's gonna show you right here is where the top of your button closure is gonna be. So we have this. And then the next trick you wanna remember is to make for sure that you leave the hole big enough so that you can get it on and off. In the beginning stages of making this, I made them super close and then you couldn't slide them on and off easily, or you needed somebody to help you. So I feel like this is gonna be really good for us right about there. So we're gonna take another piece of our wax linen cord. About like so, and we'll be generous. And we're gonna tie this here. And again, we're gonna do a double knot, and we're gonna hopefully this time not get the glue everywhere, but I wanna recheck, so once you get that slipped on and it's not too tight, just go ahead and remember to check it. And then you're gonna tie it once with a knot, tie it twice with a knot. And as I did here, just go ahead and leave these brown cords or the strings, make it a little tiny bit shorter maybe, but you want them long because that's gonna play into the framework of this to make sure that it's sealed. And then, boy, this thing makes me nervous. All right, so I'm having crazy glue problems. That's not gonna be safe. I'm forsaking my precision tip accuracy to just go like so. And you're just gonna do a tiny, tiny drop like that, if you can see. And it's just gonna secure that knot. So we have that done. Now we do wanna go ahead and get rid of some of the extra of this. So we're just gonna go ahead and trim this off. And I like to leave my tails, if you can kind of take a look at the end product, I like to leave my tails long and not perfect. So we are gonna go ahead and undo I braided this too long, so we're gonna go ahead and undo the braid so that we've got the long tails. We do need to do that before we get to our next part. See what happens when you plan ahead, then it all backfires. And okay, so I got my long tails. The next thing we're gonna do, if you can see on this one, is we're gonna decide on a pattern. And you can use the pattern that I came up with, or you can do your own. And so you'll get, I think I went over, you'll get the 9 beads. I only needed, for my size wrist, I only needed 6. And so, so this is that part. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get a longer strand of the, and I always like to go long, and then we can always shorten it. It's inexpensive enough, and I hate running out. So we're gonna just start with our, and to save time today, I'm just gonna go with the exact pattern that I know worked here. But again, you may want to, you know, change it up, put white in the middle, whatever, it's your, you get to choose. So we're gonna start with the 4 large white, and depending on how it lays out, we may have to go down to 3. I originally, when I first made this today, I only had 3 beads there, and then I needed to add a 4th one to kind of complete the size. So, and I'll have a picture of this on the website too, so you can follow this exact pattern. But again, depending on the size of your arm, you may have to, you know, shorten the amount of colors and still make it look, you know, like it was supposed to, for you. So what I did is I'm gonna start with 3 white, and we can add it on. I'll do the white, and then I do a large one, and then I do 3 colors, 3 of the red, and then I'll stick in there a small one. And again, this is just my taste. You can, you know, you can customize it to however you want. So I'll do the 3 and then the small, and then the 3. So that lays out this part, if you can see. And then we're gonna do a big one, a big spacer. And then we'll do 3 white. And maybe you don't like the white in between. Maybe you just want, you know, the solids touching. Again, there's not really a right and a wrong in this. And then we'll put on another large one. And we'll go to our turquoise, and we'll do 3 turquoise. And this is the fun part. I've never been one to really do a lot of beading. I've more been into the leather, metalsmithing. And a friend of mine introduced me to, I guess it's called patterns. And everybody has the pattern that they prefer. So I really like this pattern, but again, it might not be for everybody. So with what you get, you can come up with your own, and then you can send me pictures, and I would love to see what you came up with if you decide to do something different. Okay, so we're almost done stringing beads. So we're right here. We got to do 2 more whites. I think the important thing is getting your framework secure, and that way everything is sturdy. And if you start on them soon, you can make hundreds of them for Christmas presents. I'm kidding, that would be terrible. You guys don't know, but behind my camera is one of my very best friends, Dina. Dina lives around the corner from me. Say hi, Dina.
Hi, guys.
And she started working with me. And this was a video that I felt like I couldn't just set the camera ahead of me, and I felt like you really needed to kind of be over my shoulder and see what I'm doing. So if this video doesn't turn out great, I'm going to give you Dina's cell phone number.
I probably won't answer.
Okay, so now we have our yellow. So we're there. We're going to do 3 more whites and our orange, and then we're ready to tie this thing off. And the thing I like about this, it's such a rich looking bracelet. I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I could almost see it in one of the higher end catalogs, and I feel like it would go for a lot of money. So it's one of those inexpensive things to make, but it doesn't really cost a whole bunch. And these I did not mention. Boy, this is the important thing. Before I post this video, so when you are seeing this video, these will be available under the kit section of my website. So if you go to the home page, www.thelipstickranch.com, and off the home page go to projects and kits, you'll find this whole thing that you can buy in kit form, so you don't have to get all, it makes it more affordable than having to buy a strand of beads for each thing. So I think we're almost done, within a couple whites. Okay, so we have this duplicated on this piece of what we did, and we just kind of want to get this centered on our strand, on our wax linen cord. So that looks good. Now we may have to add, if you can see, there's 4 beads on the end here, 3 here. What's going to happen, what's going to be the deterrent or the deciding factor is if we want the beads, if you can see right here, this knot, you want the beads to basically line up with those. And I think we did a good job. I think we are good with the 3 this time. So if you, and this is just kind of a suggestion, if you have a larger wrist than I do, you could come out to maybe say 6 white on each side. And then that's one way to do it. You could also add in, I like how the little silver spacers are in the middle, 3 and 3. So you could add a colored bead on each side. So there's some flexibility so that it fits, because what you want is you want this cage right here to, and again, just make sure it does. You want this to fit on your wrist and that you can, we left it to close. So we're good there. Now, what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna give myself a little more room. So we are gonna come around and we're gonna tie, and this end doesn't matter, unless it falls on the floor, it doesn't matter. We are gonna go ahead and we're gonna tie where this knot is here. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna tie it. And so I'm gonna do my first one here. And if you can see, we want to, now this one is forgiving because, but what we do want to do is leave enough room because we're gonna use this to wrap all in one. So, so we're gonna try to get our knot closer down here. And this side, it's not as hard because, like I said, there's some forgiveness. and we can push the beads up. The other side is a little bit trickier, but we're gonna go ahead and just tie that on top of that knot, okay? And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do a double knot. So we're gonna come back around, and this is gonna be a double knot, like so. Then we're gonna take this wonderful glue again, and this just kind of secures everything. And we're gonna wanna put just a teeny, teeny drop right there to kind of anchor that knot. This is the trickier side. So we're gonna wanna slide all the beads up to where you're gonna have some stuff hanging. It's totally fine, don't worry about it. You're gonna wanna slide all those beads up to the top right there. See how that is, so that it hits that cage. And so what I like to do is I'll hold it upside down because the beads are gonna wanna slide, and we're gonna wanna go ahead and tie this. Now, it's very normal to have a little bit of sag in the beads. I've made a lot of these. I can't get rid of that little bit of slag, so that's normal. But what we're gonna come and do is we're gonna tie it off again over that existing knot that we already have here. And this is where you really wanna work that knot down. Don't tighten it until you know your play is gone, because you'll have to start over. So we got that one good. See how we have that? We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add a second one. Like so. And then again, we're gonna take our lovely crazy glue. And we're gonna just anchor that knot so that that's good. Okay, now what you wanna do, these were the frayed, or that extra long slack from last time. And we wanna have it all going this way, because now we're gonna wrap, and by wrapping it, it's just gonna add more security. And this is gonna finish off this piece to where I have it like this. And I like to leave, if you don't like these ends, you can trim it. I think it looks like a little bit westerny. So I'm gonna leave these, I may trim them a little bit, but we're just gonna take what's left and we're gonna wrap it just till, you know, a sweet little thing. And then we're gonna come around again. We're gonna do a double knot. So that's the first one. Now we're gonna knot down a second one. And then I feel like you would be totally fine with that right here. But what I do is I take one of these just for a little added, you know, then it's not gonna fall apart. And I'll take one of these, because this isn't even from this part, this is from the first part of the cage that we built. And I will double knot this. And this wax linen cord, it's so easy to work with because it just kind of stays exactly where you put it. It's one of the easiest materials. And so then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna trim all of this off, but don't cut the knots. So you wanna stay on the outside of the knots, okay? And then the wax linen, you can kind of just push it, mold it back down almost, if you want to say, so that just looks clean. And then what I do is I will take, I'm only gonna do a drop now and then I'll show you at the end, but I pretty much will cover the whole brown with some crazy glue. It doesn't, the reason I like the crazy glue versus the other glues, now I haven't tried it with the super new glue, that may work just fine, but the crazy glue doesn't bubble up. And so a couple of the other products, it bubbles up, and so you're left with like white, a white mess. And I have had good luck with crazy glue. So that side's completely done. You know, I didn't feel like this was a super long project. Now we're gonna come over here and we're gonna do the same thing. So we tied it off. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take our strands that are here and we're gonna put them up, and we're gonna just go ahead and we're gonna wrap this. And this just double secures everything. Plus it just gives it a nice, kind of a westerny, like I said, finish to it. And it adds to it. So I feel like that's good there. Now we're gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna cheat with the first one. Make my loop, put it over this. And we're gonna pull it down. Tight, tight, tight. Do the second one. Make my loop. Pull it over. This one's being funky, so I don't want to pull too much because then I'll have a mess. Okay, pull that tight. And then as I did with the other one, I'm just going to use this end here, one of the ends, it doesn't matter which one, and I'm going to knot this to it. And I feel like that way it's just not going anywhere. And this wax linen cord is so strong. All right, so we have that. We're going to go ahead and trim our piece here. Again, don't cut the knot. And these two, like so. And we're just going to kind of mash them down. And then the last thing, like I said, I take the crazy glue, so that's done. Pretty little piece. I don't know, it maybe took us 15 minutes or so, if that. But I do take the crazy glue and I put it all over the brown. Just a thin little coating, and I let that dry, and it dries perfectly fine. And I'm gonna do the same on this side. And I just feel like when I had my finished jewelry company, and I used to make a ton of these frames or cages, and I never had any of them returned, and I believe I shipped out thousands and thousands of pieces. So it's kind of a tried and true method. So there you have it. That simple. Your end product will look like this. Here's me in my glasses. Thank you for joining me on Halloween, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and see you all online. Bye-bye.